Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about standard form for linear equations. This is chapter 5 and it is lesson 5. Y-intercept, x-intercept. Y-intercept is the point the line crosses the y-axis, and the x-intercept is the point the line crosses the x-axis. Let me show that to you one more time. There the axis is. Here is the y-axis. If the line were to cross the y-axis up here, well, then it'd be like 4 or something. It'd be up here, the number that is up here in this line. If it was going to cross the other axis, the x-axis, it's about where it would cross on this line, the x-axis, the x-intercept. Finding x and y intercepts. This is actually pretty simple. All you got to do is plop in the 0 for the opposite intercept. So to find the x-intercept, I 0 out my y. So if I make this guy 0, then I just need to solve for my x. So if I make this 0, guess what? 4 times 0 is 0, so that goes away. Then I just solve for this, and 3 divided by x in this case equals 24 divided by 3, and that would be 8, correct? So x would be 8. All right, to find the y-intercept, I insert a 0 for the x. So I 0 these guys out. Then I come over here and I divide this side by 4. And then, of course, because I need to do things evenly, I got to divide the other side by 4. And in this case, 24 divided by 4 equals 6. That is how to find the x and y intercepts. So in other words, the x-intercept in this case the line will cross it over here in this zone where the 8 is on the line. In this case, the line will cross it up here on the y line. This is where the y-intercept is. What is a graph of 2 minus 2x minus 2y equals 2? Alrighty, well, let's find both the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and we'll plot those points on the graph, and we'll actually do the line. And I'll try and make it a straight line. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to 0 out this guy, the x, so that I can figure out the y. I would divide by 2 by negative 2. That will go away. I'm going to divide this by negative 2, and negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So my y-intercept is going to be 0, 1. So I'm going to find 0, 1. Okay, now I'm going to take this down here. I'm going to 0 the other one out. Let me see if I can just use my eraser. That'll be the easiest. Okay. Now I'm going to 0 this guy out. If I take away 0, I don't have to even do any solving. I have x equals negative 2. So then I find my x at 0, or I'm sorry, I find my negative 2 at the x line, and I don't go up any because my y is 0. So there you go. So now I can see, I'm going to do this slowly. I can see that my line will go through those 2 points and continue on and on forever. And in fact, I can also see the slope by by doing the rise and the run. Dun, 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 it's 2 over 1, or the slope is 2. Alrighty, so anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so sometimes you will only get, your equation is really small, and you have to assume that the lines are horizontal or vertical. So if I say that x is 3, that means that whenever y is 0, x will be 3. On the other hand, where the y equals 3, you would, whenever the x is 0, the y is going to be 3. For all values x, y equals 3. Standard form can be really helpful, but sometimes it isn't already in the standard form, so you have to actually put it there so that you can zero things out and figure out how to graph them. So in this case, I can actually change this all around so that it is in ax plus by equals c form, so it's easier to work with. So if I was going to do that, I would want my x term to be first, right? Because that's what it is in the standard form. So to do that, I would move this guy to the other side. I flip the sign, and I send it over to the other side. So that becomes 3/7 x plus y equals 5. Now you might be confused because here I have my a is, I wrote 3, my 7 is funny, that's why. Right, I wrote 3/7 over here, and I have y here that does not have a b. What would b be? It must be 1. Alrighty, so there you go. I'm good to go with standard form. There are 3 forms that we have learned for linear equations so far. We have learned slope-intercept form. Remember, that's y equals mx plus b. We have learned point-slope form. That is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Standard form, ax plus bx equals c. Okay, let's go ahead and do some practice work on this to make sure that we have standard form firmly seated in our brains. Alrighty, get after it.